What's up, everybody? Welcome to Garden Sound Coffee Time Live. My name is Gardner. Hope everybody can hear me. You're listening to a track from Dr. Smooth right now. This is an EP that I put out probably, I don't know, what's today's date? 20 days ago. If you'd like to pick up a copy, this is how we currently support the show. This and my Patreon page, which I would also like to show off right now. The reason I want to show off my Patreon page is I made a couple of updates. So there is a post I made a couple of days ago called Sweetening the Deal. And what I'm about to do here is add a couple of more things to the $10 tier. So it used to be that on the $10 tier, you just got the EPs from Season 2. Those are distributed at the end of the month. You get all the rewards from the lower tiers. But I'm sweetening the deal by saying that I'm also going to start uploading my project files and stems from all the songs on the EPs that I create. Now that's a risky move because it really opens the door to piracy. However, I want people who are supporting me at that level to actually get a little bit more for their money and also to actually encourage people to support me at that $10 level. So these are the two ways we support the show. And now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it over to the comments here. We've got Machiavode, Citizen, Philip Helsed, and Papi Yago tuning in. What's going on over there, everybody? I can't tell if it's Mimi, Brianna, or Kevin, or anybody else. I hope y'all are doing well. Lila's here, hanging out. And yeah, we're just going to get into it today. We got a whole bunch of submissions to look through, as you can see here by my tabs. We do have stuff to listen to that involves the contest for the end of the month. I do have stuff to show from mail time, and I would like to answer some questions today. I just want to kind of get some more personal information in here, because I feel like just lately on the show I haven't been as personal as I wanted to be, because things are spread out more this month this season as opposed to last season. Oh yeah, that big modulation in there. Love that part. Anyway, yeah, this is the Dr. Smooth EP. Pick up a copy if you feel like supporting the show. This is completely crowdfunded, this show, so far. So, yeah, we need your support. So if you like what we do here on the show, if you support what we do, definitely see if you can help me out in any way, shape, or form. I know it might sound like internet begging, but hey, it is what it is. Until we can start making more AdSense revenue, this is how the show gets going. Okay, that's a good place to end. All right, so anyway, let's move on. I'm going to just go ahead and jump right into it. What's up, Savan? And start here with Aligned. We're going to be listening to Rainstorm. There are 2 rules for coffee time as this song gets going. The first rule is I have to say something nice about the track, no matter how I feel about it. The second rule is that I have to listen to the entire track. So it's basically what we do here. We listen to Unsigned, we listen to underground indie music that otherwise would not get plays on the radio, and we just try to give it some feedback and some airtime. So that's what we're here to do. All right, we were just listening to Rainstorm by Aligned. And I feel like every track we hear by Aligned just gets better and better. I can't wait to see this guy do something great in the music community. So here's what we got. We've got kind of a chill out track going on here. I like the way it is. We've got actually a comment by Philip down here. To be honest, I think the track is really good, but you should try to make the kick a bit stronger. I agree. I think there needs to be a bit more, I guess you could call it compression. I guess you could call it punch. There needs to be a bit more, I guess it would be punch via compression on the kick. Now, you can achieve this in a couple of ways. There are a couple of plugins that will allow you to actually go ahead and just quickly get a good punch on your kick drum. One of my favorite to use is Transient Master. That's a Native Instruments plugin. It really has a couple of great presets that take your kick drum and just smash them a bit. You could also use parallel compression. There is a tutorial on YouTube that I have definitely mentioned before. Mr. Bill has a tutorial on parallel compression that is just the best tutorial out there for parallel compression. So go check that out and add a little bit of that to your mix. You could probably use it on your snares or your twos as well, your twos and your fours. So cool. Nice track. Otherwise, the mix is fine. I think overall it needs to be a bit louder, but it looks like this is a work in progress, so keep it up, and thank you for submitting. Here's one by Philip. This is called Diminished. Shout outs to people over here in the comments. We got Nicholas, we got Guillermo, we got Marco, Vinny. How's everybody doing? Hey, Josh. Hope everybody's well. Hope you're good where you're at. Guy from Brazil watching this live. Big hug. Big hugs back to you, my friend. Very cool. That was Diminished by Philip Hellset. Yeah, I think I've said this before. Citizen also noted this. The change in timbre that you're able to achieve with that piano is super cool. You've got that low octave in the very beginning, and then it moves into sort of a more bouncy progression, and that really is what holds this track together, I think, more so than anything else. So that's awesome. The kick and bass are a bit weak, and I'm not saying it needs more kick. I'm saying that that kick itself doesn't fit with the piano and the rest of the track because there's such a wide space between where between where the kick is hitting and where the piano is tinkling, going tink tink tink. If you had something to bridge the gap between those two things, it would sound more cohesive. You actually could probably get away with a trance bass, like a sidechain kind of wah 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 wah, like a hover pad with a little bit more distortion on it that's heavily sidechained. So something to try. Other than that, cool track. Thanks for submitting. And yeah, I'd say the same for you. You continuously get better with the things that you submit. So keep going with it and keep writing, keep submitting. And yeah, looking forward to more. All right, next track is Elefanten by Mix Master. Love the artwork here. I'm a sucker for this 80s/90s pop art. So let's see what we got here.
Var är det går? Elefanten, var är det fjör? Elefanten, var är det går? Elefanten, var är det fjör? Elefanten, vart funkar? Elefanten. Elefanten försvann en gång. Elefanten var här i fjör. Elefanten är borta nu. Elefanten försvann en gång. Elefanten, var är det går? Elefanten, var är det fjör?
I can't tell if this is serious or not.
Var är det går? Elefanten, var är det fjör? Elefanten, vart funkar? Elefanten.
The best track you'll ever hear, period.
Elefanten, var är det fjör? Elefanten, var är det går?
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to picture what the music video for this would look like. Yeah, no, I've got no negative criticism for that. We'll just perfect. That's the best track I've ever heard. That's it right there. I'm gonna just quit writing music after that last track because that's perfection. I've heard it. Listening to Irrelevant by Linus Carlson.
Are you listening? I know you're there. I've been thinking about our existence. that we don't really matter at all. This world is so much bigger.
Ooh. Oh, we gotta listen to that again. That was a good build up.
And it's okay to be and to feel always so. Drowning deep in our sea of self-importance.
I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of sounds like that's my Porter Robinson synth from the Production Tools channel. If that's the case, then I actually need to apologize because it needs a little bit more tweaking. Ooh, that was cool.
So far away, and it's okay to be and to feel always so.
Now you see, this is how it should have started. We should have started with this piano line. That's way cool. All right, that was Irrelevant by Linus Carlson. Okay, what I'm about to say here is a nitpick, because I think overall this is a good track. What you've got is a weird form, and that's probably what's throwing people off. I feel like we should have started with this piano line here. Like, the song would have started this way. You wouldn't have such an awkward dip at the very beginning. Like, that's almost 30 seconds of nothing happening, right? Until your voice comes in here at 27. Which I feel like your voice treatment is fine. It could be a little bit louder, you know, but again, that's a nitpick. And I love this fill here. Those could be bigger drums, but I feel like this subdued nature that your entire track has fits with those drums. So yeah, what I would do is, I mean, literally I would copy and paste this last part at the very beginning, play through the track as it is in the middle, and then end with this big fade out right here. Because those arpeggiated things don't come back ever in the song, really. You know, it's just at the very beginning. So it really just seems like there's the beginning and end should be swapped. So try that out. Just something to try out. It would take you no time at all to just copy and paste in your DAW. Couldn't hurt, right? The worst thing that could happen is you have to do the undo, right? Control Z. That's all you're risking here. give it a shot. Thank you for submitting. Cool stuff. Look Forward To by Hack. Now, I'm a bit hesitant to play this because this has quite a few plays. And I'm like, I don't know if this is a signed thing. So let's listen to it anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Escape the city, gotta soothe my ghetto tortured soul. And it sucks cause I love
The sun's coming in too. Perfect.
but sometimes you gotta go.
Overseas in a villa with friends and speakers. Breeze, we them reefers, sands, no sneakers, no concrete, just waves at the beach. Sipping on your loveliness, sipping on the sea, and it's too easy, too mellow, maybe too good. But if it wasn't, I don't know if I would love you as much as my hood. Fuck could I love you much more? But what am I feeling this for?
Escape the city, gotta soothe my ghetto tortured soul.
But what am I feeling this for?
And it sucks cause I love her.
What am I feeling this for? What am I feeling this for? What am I feeling this for? I feel like the world needs my beauty. I feel like I know it's my duty. So I wrote a book of sunburnt rhymes. So I wrote a hook for the summertime. You just wanna look like you're one of mine. Feeling pretty good to show 'em how to shine, how to really grind, how to take your time, how to make you smile, how to make it yours. Fuck getting tossed up tall. I had to do my own thing. I was never a rat, I'm a king. It starts with the name, that's the thing. How can you fly with no wings?
Escape the city, gotta soothe my ghetto tortured soul. Escape the city, gotta soothe my ghetto tortured soul. And it sucks cause I love her. But sometimes you gotta go.
What am I feeling this for? But what am I feeling this for? What am I feeling this for? What am I feeling this for? But what am I feeling this for?
Don't feel good, don't feel good if you love him. Don't feel good, don't feel good if you love him. Don't feel good, don't feel good if you love him. Don't feel good, don't feel good if you love him.
Whoa. Sorry. It just went on to the next track there. Yeah. I like the way that the lyrics and the, repetition, that refrain, that what am I doing this for? What am I feeling this for? I like the way that kind of is the background. You know what I'm saying? Like there isn't a whole ton of harmony and melody. Really, it's just this repetitious kind of thing, this thing going on in the background. And that's nice. It kind of makes the whole thing hypnotic. It's cool. Yeah, but I definitely, as we said in the chat over here, I definitely get some Joji vibes. Definitely get some of that lo-fi aesthetic coming across here. It's good stuff. It's very soulful. It's very emotional. I don't know if I could listen to like 5 tracks in a row just like this. I think I might get lulled into a state of, melancholia. But if this was, a 2 or 3 off kind of track on an album, in terms of an album flow, it'd be great. Yeah, this is cool. That's a good change of pace. Thank you for submitting, whoever submitted this. I think it's Savon because I can see his comment here. All right, check it out. We got Mechanical Peaches. This is a cool band that submitted some stuff this week. So the track that was submitted is called Figurines. So we're going to listen to that right now. Turn this up a bit. What are you doing?
I sleep alone now. I gotta get back to the action. Plastic figurines talk to me when I am sleeping. They tell me to smile more and make fun of my face when I am vegan. Inside these walls, no one knows. Inside these walls starts to show. Thinking of you, looking past me, watching figurines, laughing at me. Don't try too hard now, always searching for the meaning. Put down the script now, nothing happens for just one reason. Closing the door now, who needs another disappointment? Losing the fight now, quicksand is swallowing the pavement. Inside these walls, no one knows. Inside these walls starts to show. Thinking of you, looking past me, watching figurines, laughing at me. Inside these walls, no one knows. Inside these walls starts to show. Thinking of you, looking past me, watching figurines, laughing at me.
All right, that was Figurines by Mechanical Peaches. That was super cool. It was, yeah, and it's not just the artwork that's making me think this, but it was very surf rock. You know, it's very that I get that Beach Boys, you know, kind of vibe from it, or you know, the imitation of that style, I guess is what you would call it, right? And it's not the Beach Boys itself, right? I don't think Brian Wilson would have written something like this, but you know, that sort of vibe, that sort of aesthetic, really cool. I do not like the fact that there is, you know, not enough drums presence in the mix. There's plenty of cymbal, right? There's plenty of cymbal going on. I can hear the ride clear as day. I can hear the crashes. I can hear the hi-hats. I cannot hear the snare drum and the kick as much as I want to. And I think you'd also have more of a mass appeal if you put more kick and snare in here. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. If you don't have the ability to go back and retrack the drums, you could put in some artificial kicks and snares over top of the actual drums itself. That's something that I know for a fact artists like. I mean, I do it sometimes, and I think the Postal Service does it too, where you have a live drums track and you also have a artificial drums track. The Gorillaz do this as well. In fact, the Gorillaz do this live. They have 2 drum sets, one of which is electronic and the other of which is an actual drum set. So no shame there. I think it would just add to an already really cool sound and make it just that much more effective. So take that with a grain of salt. Thank you for submitting. I look forward to hearing more. So please submit again. Emulated Reminiscence. This is by Artemesis. This guy. What's up, Ryan? Ooh, how mysterious. A big filter sweep at the end of the song. Ooh, and a pitch drop. Nice. Then some more noise. Very cool. Very art housey. Okay, overall, the mix is fine. The one thing I have a complaint about in this song, and this is I think I know what's happening, so I'm gonna try to just take a guess here. This isn't sarcasm. This isn't me making fun of anything. I really do think I know what's going on here. So, what we've got around like here. Listen carefully. Right there. So what we've got is a couple of synthesizers that are monophonic, and then we have one or maybe possibly two synthesizers that are polyphonic, and they're triggering. It's a chord, you know, when you hit one note and it triggers a chord on a synthesizer. What's going on here is that we've got the bass note correct, right? So the note that we're using, the pitch we're using for all of the rest of the synthesizers probably got copied and pasted into a synth patch that has multi-voice polyphony with one retrigger. So what you've got is actually a chord based on a note that shouldn't be making all of its overtones present, so you've got a clash. This is a harmonic clash. So you've got notes probably that aren't represented via the piano roll that are happening in sound space, and those are clashing. This is something that used to happen to me a lot when I would use Thor in Reason, before I knew what poly retrigger was. So just take a look at all of your synthesizers here and figure out which one of them is playing the chord, and maybe take that polyphony down to one or two voices. Fifths are normally a safe bet if you'd like to do something like this. Again, this is a time-saving thing, so I understand it. So think about it. Other than that, great. You've got some harmonic clashes in here. Siraquil and Matsk and John Flora. I am butchering these names. I am so sorry here, but we're going to listen to it. Let's go. Okay. So that was called Flora by 3 people here: Sarah Quill, Otske, and John. And there are 3 different drops here, and I believe, you know, if I'm doing this correctly, if I'm doing the current trope correctly, you have 3 different drops, 3 different producers, right? Same common chord progressions and theme. So very cool. What we do not have here is a solid mix. What we do have here are 3 very solid ideas and based on the same theme. So we have a solid 3-part theme and variations here. However, there was a lot of mix issues in here, and there's really too many to name any one of them individually and say this is the biggest issue. But it really is over compressed. So if we have, you know, the song itself running through a master channel, and then that itself has compression on, or maybe a limiter. There's a lot of ducking going on. And for instance, the snares at different parts of the song were different loudnesses in my ear, and that's because the compressor is hearing that as the loudest noise at some points when other channels and other song components are softer. So I don't really know. I know where this is going, and I wish I could see the actual project file, because it's probably just, like I said, a simple matter of just taking everything down to 0 and remixing it. I don't know. You don't have SoundCloud Pro, which I'm not telling anybody to buy SoundCloud Pro. Don't listen to this as an endorsement. But if you had SoundCloud Pro, you could actually fix these mix issues and then re-upload it without losing your stats. As it stands, since you don't, you'd have to take the song down or re-upload it as, like, you know, a remix or something. But yeah, so solid ideas, mix needs some work. Other than that, cool. All right, guys, so we're moving on to the work in progress, the WIP section. This is Machiavode. They submitted a track for the remix contest for October. I have a sample contest. If you don't know, it's in the description down below of this live stream. I was on my first mail time. Somebody sent me a dildo, and I took it, and I threw it against the wall and made a bunch of funny samples and hit it on things, and I released that as a sample pack on my Patreon page, which is here if you want to take a look at it. It's GARDNSOUND. Patreon.com/GARDNSOUND. The actual sample pack is here. It's called Dildo Greatest Hits. You can access that if you're supporting me at the $4 and above level. And I said I'm going to have a contest every month this season for whatever sample pack is current. Since that's the current one, we have submitted here a work in progress. And this is something that people can do if they'd like to actually get a little bit of insight into what I'm looking for the contest. Here is what, give me just a second here. This is the actual sample. So I'm going to play this so everybody can hear it, and then I'll play the entry. So what that is me throwing a dildo against the wall, hitting it, falling off the wall, hitting the floor, and then laughing. One more time. There you go. So let's listen to the entry. I already love it. Very industrial. Oh, we got a glitch. Hold on, everybody. We're fine. It's just reloading the song. I'm going to reload this page. There we go. And we're back on. Keeps getting stuck at the same part. Try to reload it one more time. Come on. Can't tell if it's my internet connection or what. Come on now. Delete the cache. It might be that. Although I've got plenty of RAM. Shouldn't be that. Alright, we're going to let it play from here. Nice. I like how blown out everything is. Now that's in contrast to what I normally say about no dynamic range. But see, here's the difference. This is soft sounds being downward compressed as opposed to loud sounds being upward compressed. And there's a big difference between the way the two of those sound. Both of those result in songs with very little dynamic range, but this has more things akin to noise music that I can appreciate as art versus really blown out synthwave, which is loud noises upward compressed. There's a difference. So, that being said, this is wicked. I like it. I think it could use a little bit more variation, and take this as a suggestion, a very strong suggestion, shorten it. It doesn't have to be 2 minutes. It has to be between a minute and 2 minutes. So in order to make things interesting, sometimes it's necessary to cut out fat. So think about this. Maybe this song is too long and there's sections that repeat too many times, and you can draw those down to avoid it sounding repetitive. So don't be afraid to submit something that's short. I would much rather listen to a minute of very, very interesting music than 2 minutes of that same music repeated. And I think the same goes for anybody. If you look at some pop songs on the radio, like Taylor Swift's song, Look What You Made Me Do, that's a really short song. However, it's got a lot of repetitive things in it that, if drawn out to the length of a normal radio song, would be really boring. So the producers made a smart decision on their part, without giving this particular person too much credit, to shorten things down and make it a dense and interesting piece of music as opposed to a drawn out, uninteresting piece of music. Okay, everybody, I'm going to take a quick break, a little 5-minute break here. Get something really quick to just snack on. I'm feeling a little lightheaded from all the coffee. And use the restroom. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to do a quick Q&A. And I'm going to open up this box that was submitted to me and do a little bit of mail time. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. While I'm gone, enjoy the remaster of Dr. Smooth. All right, we're back. Thank you for waiting patiently. So we're about to open up this box here that I've got. It was submitted to the P.O. box. If you are wondering what the address is for the P.O. box, I can't remember it. But it should be on the box here, so let's look at that. Oh, boy. Okay. The address, if you would like to submit something for mail time, is Gardner W. Beeson, P.O. Box 1287, Fayetteville, Georgia 30214. I think it's pretty obvious what this is. However, it could be a total troll. So, let's open her up. I'm going to move my microphone here and take the gate off so it's just full on. So, sorry if that's bothering people. All right. Moving the mic. Okay. Also, if you've got any questions you'd like me to answer, any questions at all, appropriate questions, of course. Hit the chat and I'll take a look at them in a second. Who is this from? Hold on. Who is this? I know who this is. I just can't remember. Do I know who this is? Who sent this? Y'all give me just a second. I want to make sure I've got who sent this on my phone or something. Sorry for all the dead air here. I'm just trying to remember who sent this to me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is Matt. This is Matt Power. Okay, yeah, I remember now. This was submitted by Matthew Power. Okay. This is heavy, man. What is in here? Now, the outside of the box, it looks like it's a speaker. But, like I said, it could be a troll. No, this is for real. Okay, what is this? Active mix cubes. Power mini reference monitors for the new millennium. Application. Active recording mixdown monitors. Check this out. Got a power cable. Got what looks like some weird like 5-pin DIN connector. Oh, a power brick. Interesting. Aventone. Alright, so we got a power brick. Lila does not know what to do with all this. She's like, what's going on over there? Oh, Jesus. It's like a for real monitor. Whoa. All right, so let me open this thing up. Give me a second. Well, I ripped the bag. Too late. I ripped the bag. Lila's all the way over there. She's not having any of this. Birds don't really like new stuff. It's piano black. Oh, it's nice and shiny. I'm gonna get fingerprints all over this thing. Wow. Damn, guys. Damn. Okay, all right. So, let me get the manual out and figure out why I was sent this. Okay. Okay, so this is a bass challenged system. So the idea here is that there's very little bass, and so you want to try to figure out what it would sound like on a system where there isn't much bass. And I think since I have one, the idea is to play it back in mono. Yes, the mix cube serves as an excellent reference example of a mono TV mix. This allows an engineer to really put himself in the listener's seat to check out phase cancellation as well as balance. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the middle of my field right here, in this middle of the stereo field, and then use this as a reference for what it would sound like over like an iPod speaker. This is a mono block. I have never mixed in mono before. I have no idea what this is going to be like. So, expect a video review. I got to figure out how this works first. Man, that's cool. Thank you, Matt. Jeez. First the big jam and now this? That's just way too cool. I can get a good look at this thing. Boom. All right, sick. So I'm definitely going to have to go through and do a tutorial on what that's like and try mixing down some stuff. I don't know if I'll have enough time this month to do all the mix downs for the EP in mono. Maybe I do. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll mix these down in mono and stereo and hear what they sound like. Anyway. All right, let's see here. Let's look at some comments here, some questions here in the chat, and I'll answer those. And then I'm going to give you a quick preview of what this month's EP is going to be. I've been really quiet about it, so we're going to reveal that a bit here. Lone Child. How did you get into Ableton? I tried and was severely confused. Also, I'm going to send you something if I get a chance. Try to guess the theme. Better be appropriate, Lone Child. Okay, how did you get into Ableton? Well, I was sort of pushed into it by a friend of mine named John Curry, who actually is a producer. One of the most under-recognized producers, I think, that's currently out there. His handle on SoundCloud is Curry Sauce. I've done a bunch of tracks with him in the past. In fact, we used to be part of a dubstep metal band called Trinity EDM. Don't go look that up. Anyway, yeah, so I was using Reason for a long time. In fact, I started with Fruity Loops, and then for a weird period of time went to GarageBand, and then for another weird period of time, maybe 2 or 3 years, I produced exclusively in Reason, Reason 4 and Reason 5, and then I stopped doing that when my friend John, who was also into Reason, and he was, he's the guy that said, Gardner, you need to start learning Ableton, and that was Ableton 8. So when Live Suite 8 came out, I hopped over from Reason 5 to Live Suite 8 and used Live 9. And I've been using pretty much Live exclusively since 2009, I'll say. So almost 10 years now, 8 years, 9 years. And the transition at first was difficult, especially coming from Reason, because there's no audio in Reason. It's only MIDI, or at least at that point it was. It was before record. Excuse me. It was before record. So for me, it was just all MIDI, all synthesizers, and it was hard to get the workflow of Ableton under my fingers because it's all in the same window. In Reason, it was 2 separate windows. You had the playlist, or your timeline, and then you had your synth rack where everything was connected up. So it was just hard for me to understand jumping back and forth and looking down in the live browser to try to figure out where the instruments were. But once I started to use VSTs, it actually made more sense. So there's that. Let's see here. Guillermo, 2 questions for you, dude. Would you produce artists from South America at distance? And what would you say you are best at if you had to order your skills? Mix, arrangements, sound design. Thanks. No problem, Guillermo. I would produce at distance, but it definitely depends on the type of music. In fact, I don't know. Getting into South America, getting into Latin America, the middle part of the Americas especially is something I've been wanting to do. I think a lot of artists, especially a lot of EDM and a lot of producers, are sleeping on that area of the world. And the thing is, that area of the world actually has an appreciation for music that rivals no other part of the world. And there are a couple of places in the world where music is just revered as its own thing and its own language, and is just so embedded in the culture. Definitely in places like, for sure in places like Brazil. I'm not exactly sure where you are specifically, Guillermo, but in places like Mexico and places like Brazil, also in eastern parts of the world, like in India, you have music that is just, it is culture. Like, it's just the thing. And there are a lot of a lot of producers, I think, are sleeping on how important music is in other cultures, and they're focusing too hard on markets like the UK and the United States. Because here's the thing. Music is definitely a part of the culture in the United States, but we don't fund it as a society in the same way that cultures like, I'm just going to name a few, again, just India, Brazil, Mexico, etc., Spain, Italy. And there are cultures that really respect and revere music. They don't treat it so much as a hobby. They treat it more like a way of life and profession. Yeah. The short answer to your question is yes. The long answer to your question is I really want to develop my role as a producer a bit more and get to the point where I don't need a secondary income source. So right now I cook still about 30 to 35 hours a week. It's increased in terms of the number of hours I've put in just because I need to plug holes in the budget, and I want to do more with this show. I want to do more with this platform, and to do that I need money. So yeah, the short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, not right now. I need to be, in order to do that successfully, I need to be able to actually do that full time. I've got the hiccups out of nowhere. I'm sorry. See if I can hold my breath and get rid of them. Okay. So, yeah, would I produce somebody? For sure. And do I want to? Absolutely. I want to expand Garden Sound into music that's in, music in Portuguese, music in Spanish, music in Hindi. I want to get my music into other languages, but I don't have a command of the language enough to write lyrics. I basically can't write lyrics in English. I can, but they're not good. So throwing another language into the mix just makes my brain go. But yeah, I'd like to. Absolutely. Let's see here. What are you best at? Mix, arrangement, sound design. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore that. None of those. I'm best at composition, which is the structure, the form, the actual notes themselves, how the music ties in together. I think I'm second best at mixing. So it would be form, and composition is my number one. The idea of the song as a whole, and then mixing. So out of those three, I'd say I'm best at mixing. But yeah, I'm not on the level of people like Bill, of people like, Frequent or Kovacs. Those guys are just, they've got ears and they've got a way of mixing things that is much better than me. But I'm learning. I'm getting there. If you listen to Dr. Smooth as an example, if you listen to the first mix of Dr. Smooth and you compare it to this one, you can definitely hear the improvement that a year of practicing writing music every day that I did with 365 has made. So I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Let's see here. What was the first instrument you bought? Actually, the first instrument that I ever played was the piano. It was my grandmother's piano. I don't know where it is right now. I think my parents sold it. She passed away a few years ago. So that was the first instrument I played. The first instrument I purchased, like Gardner bought, right? That wasn't my parents buying an instrument for me. Was actually... this guitar. Now, this guitar used to be piano black, like the back of it. But I sanded it down on the top and actually redid it in gold. This is a pretty good paint job, actually. I'm impressed with the level of paint job I was able to do on this. And the lines are clean. It fades in and fades out. It's got a nice shine to it. Bunch of coats of lacquer. So this is the first guitar I ever bought. It is an Epiphone Les Paul Studio, not a Gibson, because I cannot afford a Gibson. Did you guys see Lila freak out just there? Oh my God. Okay, that was the first instrument I ever bought. Let's see here. Argentina. Hell yeah. Dude, I would love to produce some music for Argentina. I'm down with it. Yeah, again, there's cultures in the world that respect and revere music more than the United States, and I want to branch out and do that. There's a lot of producers that are sleeping on that. Not me. All right. Well, let's see here. I think that's it. I think that wraps it up. That wraps it up for today. There's going to be... Oh, wait. I wanted to show you what I was doing. Sorry for being so random here. I wanted to show you what I'm doing for this month's EP. I will let the cat out of the bag. and just play you one of the beats real quick. All right, so everybody stand by here. I'm going to switch my application in the stream. All right, everybody ready to hear some cool stuff? So this month's EP that I'm working on is actually going to be entirely hip-hop and entirely rap. So it's not even going to be Garden Sound. That's the thing. So for those of you who have been watching the show for a long time, this is going to be some big news for you. Whitey McWhiterson, the name that I give myself sometimes as a joke. Whitey McWhiterson is going to be releasing an EP this month. So get ready. For those of you who haven't seen my Jake Paul diss track, go watch that. But there's going to be an entire... It's not bad. That's the thing. I think people are not expecting this to be good. This is going to be pretty good. I'm excited about it. So without further delay, check this out. There you go. There's just a taste of what's to come toward the end of the month. Remember, if you'd like a free copy of this EP when it comes out, if you'd like to get this project file and get these stems when everything is all said and done, feel free to check me out on Patreon. It's just patreon.com/GARDNSOUND, GARDNSOUND. But that's going to do it for me today. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Yeah, Julian, that would be Trap. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. And look forward to seeing you guys next week. Don't forget, if you'd like to submit something to Coffee Time, go to Discord or go to GARDNSOUND on the subreddit. Just reddit.com/r/GARDNSOUND. I'll be putting up a post later today. Put something in there. Love to hear from you. But as always, my name is Gardner, and I will see you on the next Coffee Time.